Check. Hey, and good morning. I hope everyone's doing well out there. GhostChicken here. I've got my iced coffee. It's a beautiful day. I'm gonna get into a little Magic the Gathering. I have enough gold to do a draft today. So I think I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna play a warm-up game. At least one. Just get my head in the right space. And then get my butt handed to me, probably playing a draft. I think that's the plan. Alright, let's jump over to the main screen. So like I said, I think I'm gonna play a warm-up game before we get into the draft. Let's see what we've got for a quest. We got black or red, white or green, black or red. Okay. Well, the black-green deck looks ready to go. So let's slam a dredge game real quick. Ranked Alchemy Dredge. Hey, good morning, Rain. How are you? Hopefully you're enjoying the weekend out there. Have you been drafting much or playing much of the Final Fantasy set on your end? I'm gonna keep this, that's fine. Hit him with the hello. I'll go ahead and forest and explore. I will keep the insight. I've got the one. Okay, we're almost there. Getting close to the weekend. I call Thursday Friday Junior. Yeah, the set's really cool. I've played, I'm coming at it from a, mostly Magic the Gathering perspective. I didn't know too much about Final Fantasy, but I'm stoked to see who it's bringing out. I managed to play 2 sealed events locally, which was pretty awesome. And I'm gonna draft after a couple warm-up games here. Probably get my butt handed to me, but I'm excited. Yeah, it's been very fun. All right, let's see here. How about Underground Mortuary? That surveils me. This scries me. I didn't realize I put that in there. Let's surveil. I'll keep that at the top. I'll go ahead and insight again. I'll get, I don't know, the engine is probably usually better for me. I'll get the engine. Attack. Actually, I probably should have got the jet collector to get the jet, but I'll see him again. Zeldinkt. 4/3. Sort of a landfall guy. Okay, let's go with Temple of Malady, Scry. We're gonna get that jet collector, that's great. Broodheart Engine. And no attacks. Sabo Tender. We got a big landfall deck going on over there. In both sealed events I've played in paper, I haven't played against a real solid landfall deck. So this is kind of cool to see. Okay, we're keeping the Jet Collector. We're drawing the Jet Collector. Let's go Swamp, Jet Collector. We will bring back the Scout, or maybe bring back the other Jet Collector. Let's do that. Can I do that? Yes. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, and let's bring back the Scout. Explore. Landfall players have been having a blast, seriously. Yeah, it looks fun. I'll probably want to build one myself, depending on the pulls I get. My goal with Arena is to never put money into it. We'll see if that stays how I play. Krisha's Wandering. Search for land or town, put it into the battlefield, tap, nice, then shuffle. He's a beast. And the Sabo Tender is just needling me to death. This is going to give it +1/+0 and trample. That's huge. Definitely a double block here. I'm going to block with the one that does not have a finality counter on it, so I can get it back. Big swing. Bitter Triumph I keep. Okay. So here's where I get my Jet Collector back. Oh, you know, cancel for a sec. Let me look at this guy. The Storm Brood. I need 6 converted mana to drag this back. 2, 6, I got it. And I can get rid of this, the Hunter's Talent, which would be nice. Thought it was, oh, 5 for X, yes. Let's do that. Get rid of the Hunter's Talent. Yes. And then I can Bitter Triumph and discard one of my Vile Mutilators. Goodbye. And then I'll bring him back soon. Swing in for 2. Nice. Ooh, a big beast. Send this to the Abyss. Okay. The Mutilator comes out. Excellent. The Scout comes out. And the Jet Collector. Oh, we keep Galta. Actually, we graveyard Galta. Right? I think I just hardcast Galta here. I got the mana, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'll just draw it. That's fine. Let's get another Jet Collector. All attacks, yes. Yeah, I may as well play it. We're rolling in mana sources right now. Tifa's theme, yeah. It's been cool to play with a bunch of buddies who like are way more into Final Fantasy than me. They get super hyped about cards, and I get to hear a little bit about the lore. But while I'm drafting, you'll hear me mispronounce just about everything. I have only played the demo to Final Fantasy X. Alright, let's just move to attack, all attacks, and I think we've got it here. GG. S-tier music, absolutely. All those, I don't know who, I'm sure it's been different composers over time, but at least the composer for the SNES games is awesome. Some of that music is great. Let's see what we've got here. Events. And I've got the 10K to play this. This is, you play, what is it? You play 3 games no matter what. Play 3 matches regardless of record. And we're going for 3 wins if we can. Or Premier Draft is you play until you reach 3 losses. Let's just play 3 matches. Traditional draft, I think that's fun. Let's go for it. Here we go. I have no idea what I'm gonna build here. But so far in the 2 sealed events I played white-black and red-black. I always draft Premier, but traditional has better payouts. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. Does this have a timer on the picks? Because I know the other one doesn't. I'm pretty sure. This seems like more of a like this. Oh, this one does. Oh man, I probably should have done Premiere. I need the time to like think. This will be trouble for me, but let's go for it anyway. We're already in, so. Alright. This is where I get into the draft. I got a little bit flustered with the standard style draft. I thought I was going to do the Premiere and have a lot more time to pick, but let's speed things up and see what we end up with. I think ultimately I go black-white. I picked Reno and Rude there for my first pick, pack 1. Second pick, I'm not sure what I'd go with here. I'm sure I go with that signpost card, the Judge. Yes, indeed. Then here, we're going to end up snagging. Oh, we're looking at a lot of cards. Moogle's Valor, yep. I thought so. Gillycat, probably. Actually, I probably get distracted by the Steiner and don't end up making an artifact deck. Yes. I'm starting to remember how this draft went. This was my first arena draft of the Final Fantasy set. We got Tonberry there. All in all, this was pretty good, but it took me a few times to get the hang of it. My last draft I did in person and played pretty well, but I remember my arena drafts not going that great. We got Rescue Mission there. Yep, Fate of the Suncrest. I'm sure I grabbed Fate of the Suncrest for the removal. Yep. I've also got my little camera thing in the wrong spot, so it's hard to see what I'm picking. We got a Gellycat. I think in later streams I end up fixing that. Went with a green card and then went with Treasure Map there. I'm not sure. I'm just kind of, alright, grabbed the dual land in case I want to splash blue, I guess. Grabbed a Gellycat. Town Greeter, I think, was that second to last one. Phantom Train. Thinking about the Dragon's Lance. And probably should have got the Dragon's Lance. I think I get a second Steiner here. No, Sephiroth's Intervention. Fate of the Suncrest. But tempted by Fight On. We got an Inspiration going in, and then a... Probably should grab that White Mage's Staff, but I think I probably get the Steiner. Oh, no. I go for the Staff. Nice. Zenith? What was that last card? I'm not sure. You have to bear with me. We're long separated from this draft. Coral. I'm just getting around to editing some videos and getting them posted. We got the Paladin's Arms. You Are Not Alone. Yep. We are heavily in black-white at this point. As I got a little more familiar with drafting, and I haven't played Magic in a while, I'm just kind of getting back into it. But I've started to, for pack 1, I'm trying to just pick good cards, like highly rated cards, and then pack 2 is where I'm trying to kind of establish what color pair I'm in. But my early drafting tendencies are like my first pick I am committed to for some reason, and then eventually I kind of I'm starting to change my ways. So we get a Cecil. And I think a little ways back, what did we get? We'll have to see it in the deck later on. Snag a battle menu there. I'm getting some advice now from the chat, I do believe. I had just played against that artifact creature, and and it played really well, so I snagged it there. I think I get a Malibro. Now the chat is influencing my picks. Gellycat. Nice. And I don't go for the god here. Probably a mistake. I had found that it whiffed when the opponent only had one creature out, and I didn't like that, so I stopped playing it. But it's still a good card. I should have just sent it. Just grabbing the last cards there. I think that does it. Yep, there we go. Vault Progress. Final common and uncommon that executed 4x collection limit increases your vault progress. Okay. Nice drafts. Thank you. Alright, I will spare you the deck building. It took me way too long to make the cuts on this one. Ended up in black-white. No splashes, I don't think. And yeah, I forget how the games go, so we're gonna find out together. Let's go. Let's just run it. Let's run it as is. Let's go. We have a 42 card deck. Alright, game one, I make a really foolish decision and keep a one land hand because I think Cecil's going to take me to victory. Um, Pretty quickly start to see that I don't get the land I need. I think I say we're in trouble a couple times. It's not looking great. I'm starting to discard down to hand size. Getting a little bit of land in there, but not what I'm looking for. Opponent gets a big old 7/7 out there. I attack in because I've got Death Touch. I managed to get some damage in there. I believe I draw planes here pretty soon, but it's too little too late. And this game ultimately does not go my way. Yep, here comes the planes. Yep, and nothing to do but die. That's game one. Oh, and there it is. GG. Okay. Well, don't keep a bad opening hand. How about that? Let's go again. Game two doesn't go much better. I decide to keep the same deck. I keep it at 42 cards for some reason, and I just run it back. I'm pretty confident going in that just picking that opening hand with one land was my problem. But we do end up with a playable hand at the start. We're doing okay. Got the Gellicat. We've got the Albert. What's his name? Adalbert Steiner. I realized that they're a legendary creature in that moment. Pretty silly. And I've got a I've got a deck that looks like it should have more artifacts than it has at this point. We're making treasures. We are playing legendary creatures and Tonberry, attacking with the Gellicat. Milling some cards. Adalbert's back out, Gellicat's swinging in over the top, but their board is way too developed with a lot of good landfall, and I think pretty close. This is just about the end. Let's see where we're at. Yep, I don't think I take this. I think this pretty much ends. Maybe I do some chump blocking. Yep. That'll do it. We're on to the second match. Good game. Man, they got me. Okay. This next game goes a little bit better, but I still make no changes to the deck, which is a little silly. I was just kind of getting my feet wet, I think, in the drafting realm. I realized about mid-game on this game that I just built kind of a crummy deck. It's supposed to have equipment synergy, and I just didn't put equipment in it. It's a weird hodgepodge, and it just doesn't really work well together. Looking back now, it's easy to tell, but as I was drafting it and building it, it was a little difficult, but still having fun. This is the first time actually doing a draft. I had done the pre-released sealed, and I had done one other sealed event. And draft is obviously just kind of a different beast. Yeah, so this game I put up a little bit more of a fight. We actually get some attacks in there. But ultimately my board just doesn't develop, and I've got very little synergy in the deck, and I'm just on my back foot at this point and for the rest of the game. I don't really come back and claw my way back from what they've got going right now. I do end up playing this. We swing in here, do some combat tricks, get the Steiner out, and then I think we drop Blitzball. We're trying to, I guess, draw some cards. But not this turn. Play out that Legendary Knight, and then I think that's about it. Yeah, here comes the last turn. I'm not sure what happened with that last edit. That game ended in the next turn, but for some reason, some of the footage was obliterated, and I just jumped ahead to the next game. This one also did not go well. I'm talking to Chad a little bit about some cards that they're opening in real life. It's very interesting to watch these games back because it's just like silly misplays. I'm not editing the deck. I could have probably streamlined it quite a bit and just focused on kind of one archetype, but I've got a little bit too much going on. Trying to do a lot with very little. I've got kind of like a little bit of a spells thing, a little bit of a tokens thing, and this equipment archetype, and none of it is really coming together. So definitely learning a lot from watching this. I remembered having fun drafting this, and now I'm watching it and I'm like, whoa, this went really bad. But hopefully it's interesting as a learning experience, I guess, at least. We'll see how this game ends. I do believe it's just a lot of on the back foot play, trying to stay alive, trying to stabilize. I think eventually I get a Gellicat out and I get it sort of pumped up and equipped. For whatever reason, I missed the chance to draw off the Blitzball. I lose Reno really quickly there. I think I got Ghost Train out at some point in this game, and it gets suplexed immediately. Here comes the Gellicat. I get it equipped. I've got the artifacts in play to get it all pumped up. I swing in. I believe I use a combat trick on it, hit him for 8, and that's game. Okay, so far we're getting smoked. Maybe we'll get one win. Let's see. I'm gonna make some changes, I think. So I make some edits to the deck here and jump in on the next game. I had moved my little camera thing over so that the chat could see what I was working with, and I'm just finding a good position for it. I do manage to get a win here after I made some changes. I think I just cut some I believe I just cut some artifacts that didn't make any sense and tried to keep it low to the ground with some aggro. We got Reno out there, we got the Judge out there. They have Ride the Show Puff, and they have that Death Toucher as well. We've got Menace on the board, which is helping us out. Get some attacks in there. They're doing their landfall thing. But all in all, this one goes okay. Managed to use some removal there, clear the board out a little bit. I realize I don't want to sacrifice anything for Reno. I get the Coral out. We get raided while my while my screen looks crazy with my goal tracker off to the right and my camera off to the left. But at least they came in on a win. That's kind of lucky. We got Sephiroths for some more removal. We've also got the Fate of the Suncrist. Starting to come together. I think this deck sort of just ends up being creatures and removal, simple, without some of the little subplots I was trying to work on. Let's see here. Faded the Sun, Chris. No, I guess not. We attack in. It's looking good, and I think we get the scoop ultimately. Yeah, we're coming up on it. And that's game. Okay, we got a win. Thank God. So Lyco, you think throw the other Faded the Sun in, and what would you take out? I love the talking chicken. Just realized when you speak, it moves its beak. Super cute. Thank you very much. Maybe the Blitzball? Okay. Blitzball goes. But it would been nice that game. True. The Blitzball is nice. But let's just go... Let's go with what we know. Maybe it's a Slash of Light out and a Blitzball back in. I think that's fine. Let's run it. Alright, so we get a little help from chat. We make some changes. Despite my really jacked up camera setup, we get some followers from that raid, which is nice. The people hanging out are really cool. And ultimately, we're just having a fun time with this draft at this point. I felt good to at least get a win in there. This game, it ends up going a little smoother. We definitely edited the deck down to be as simple and streamlined and consistent as it could be. But I ultimately just made some weird pulls during the draft itself. So felt good to kind of comb through the deck and build something that worked as well as it could at this point. I do manage to get the Phantom Train out there a few times until it gets locked down ultimately by the opponent. They hit me with the Chocobo kick, and we swing in again with the Phantom Train. I believe this is roughly when it gets sent to the Summoner's Sanctum. Yep. And now I am on the back foot, making some block decisions. Shopa transforms, and this is where we are. We see the end of the line coming pretty quick. I think I end up conceding. And yeah, that's how this game goes. Moving on. Game 3 with Mike. Moving into the last game, I end up taking the play. I mull to 6. I end up getting the Reno out early, followed by, I do believe, a Plains and then Steiner. This game ends up going okay. So, you know, as the draft progressed, like I said, I kind of worked with chat a little bit, had some other eyes on the deck, whittled it down to only stuff that sort of made sense. I think I pretty much got rid of the tokens sub thing I was trying to go for, and now, like I said, it's mostly creatures. I end up developing this board pretty early. Creatures and removal, I should say. Sephiroth's comes into play. We clear the board a little bit. Develop nice and early. I just end up with too much board presence for them to come back and finally get one solid win in this draft, which feels good. Although ultimately this draft didn't go that well. Watching them back, you'll learn a lot. I wouldn't have expected that. I didn't really remember this draft until I looked back at the VOD and I was like, whoa, choices I made, not great. Some of the plays I made, not great. Um, so if you want to improve, I would say for sure looking back at your own footage is definitely helpful. I do have some other drafts in the hopper that I'm excited to put up. I believe I go 2-1 for most of the others, so hopefully they're a little more fun to watch. Yeah, I'm about to sign off in the actual stream. Yeah, see you, Rain. Thanks for popping in. Good luck with work. You showed up for one of my best games, so hell yeah, brother. See ya. We got the win. GG's. One win. A 1-win draft. But that's alright. 250 gems, a pack. What can you do? Toward the end of the draft, I feel like we kind of hit our stride. We honed the deck a little bit. We got a pack. It was fun. So it's back to grinding for gold until I can draft again. The set is still new. You're right, Shiva. And we're figuring it out. We're figuring it out together. So there's a lot of new people in. You might not know the drill, but I go and I do a lot of physical challenges in the stream. I build up chin-ups or push-ups for deaths and for new followers, and we had a lot of good new follows today. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump over to the physical challenge screen, and I'm going to get into it. I'm going to take care of all these chin-ups. This is going to be pretty much the end of the stream, so if you dip out, don't feel bad. I'll pop back in and just say goodbye. If you're seeing some people in the chat that are new to you, like Shiva and Uncle, what was the uncle who followed? Hey, thank you for the follow, Mama Boo. That is very cool. Uncle Russ, Mama Boo, Shiva. Check out their streams if they've got them. They're probably cool folks. So I'm going to get into it. And if you jump out, thank you for watching. If not, I'll see you when I get back. All right, that pretty much does it for the stream. I go on to do all the chin-ups I accumulated from the losses during the day. Like I said in the stream, sometimes I'll do challenges for new followers, sometimes for losses. It just kind of keeps me motivated. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Check out the next one. See you later.